The reunification celebrations which took place in the Southwest Regional Headquarters of Boya has left chiefs of the Northwest and Southwest regions of the country in total division. Tension amongst members of the Southwest Chiefs Conference as some are threatening to quit the association. And also in this newscast, 10 persons under intensive medical care, that's in the Northwest region of the country, following a fatal road accident. Plus, the delegation of transport in the littoral region gets busier as drivers scramble for computerized license. Good evening to you viewers. You are watching the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinox Television. Members of the FACO Chiefs Association have been disconnected from the Southwest Chiefs Conference. They have complained that the Executive Bureau of the Southwest Chiefs Conference relegated them to the background during the 50th anniversary celebrations of Cameroon's reunification. They said that they simply felt humiliated by their own collaborators. It was during a meeting that held in Limbe, as Davidson Maimo reports.
The FACO chiefs are bitter and angry. Their grievances spark up a quarrel that almost escalate, with accusation and counter-accusation made and defenses put forward by the accused.
Behold, I'm very, very disappointed in my senior brother, Chief Etina. It is Chief Etina Monono who made the FACO chiefs to know that there was 5 million francs. But a few minutes after, Chief Etina was in that delegation with those people. Chief Etina should kill us at least 20 cows for disgracing and selling the FACO people.
You cannot say nothing is bad.
No, it's not. We have been fined. We have been fined.
Nobody will find me. Let me tell you that.
People who have been retired from SWEC, they are still acting as full members of SWEC. Why is that nonsense going on?
But why the emergency, extraordinary meeting of the executives of FACO chiefs? Chief Epupa Ekum is the president.
The gifts which were prepared, our FACO chiefs carried that heavy, load to the grandstand. And when we got to the grandstand, since we were not part of the delegation to go and greet the head of state, we were described as carriers, porters.
Other burning issues fuel up their grievances.
The secretariat in Moya, which is not taken off, which has got almost 150 million francs, but the place is there still a bush, just because it is located in FACO division.
If not all, most of the chiefs signed a document disconnecting the FACO chiefs from the Southwest Chiefs Conference.
With what obtained on the 20th of February 2014 in Boya, we, the traditional rulers of FACO, have decided to withdraw our membership from the Southwest Chiefs Conference.
Now, the executive arm of the FACO chiefs had to unanimously voice their disconnection from the Southwest Chiefs Conference by signing a document. But one of the members, that is Chief Molinga Ikome David, seemingly backed out of the deal under unclear circumstances. Reporters caught up with him to find out why he chose to boycott the signing of the document. He simply replied by saying that it was not consensual. Now, let's listen to what Chief Molinga Ikome David had to say. He spoke to our reporter, Davidson Maimo.
I feel that when people want to take a decision, there should be a consensus. We should not be divided before taking a decision. As you saw inside the meeting, some people were for and some were for against. That's why we wanted a general meeting of the FACO chiefs. It's the only body that could determine whether it should pull out of the Southwest Chiefs Conference or remain in the Southwest Chiefs Conference. We know that so many things have gone wrong, but at least we have to amend them. We must correct them. There are errors and they must be corrected. And that is why the other people said, if the others who have created these problems have seen that it is going to create a problem for the Southwest Chiefs Conference, let them come back.
Even members of the FACO Chiefs Association divided as well. It should be noted that it's not the chiefs of the Southwest region of the country that have been divided after the reunification celebrations, as we announced in the headlines. Their counterparts of the Northwest region of the country are currently at daggers drawn over what the members of the association termed disgrace by their own president. The president of the Northwest Chiefs Association is not only being accused of relegating others to the background during the reunification celebrations which took place in in Boya. He's said to have given false information to the head of state as regards the gift that they presented to Mr. Biya, but the president of the Northwest Funds Association has denied all the allegations. It should be noted that the crisis meeting was billed to take place today in the Northwest region of the country. We surely shall be coming back to that in our subsequent newscast. Now, 10 persons are under intensive medical care at the Banso Baptist Hospital in the Northwest region of Cameroon following a fatal road accident along the slope of the sub-village. A 19-seater bus lost control and hit a rock, resulting to the incident. For Hansen Chanji tells us more.
The 19-seater bus was heading towards Bamenda from Kambe, Donga Mountain Division, with most of its occupants from Yaoundé. The bus had brakes failure upon descending the slope in sub-village, Bui Division. As a result, it missed its track and headed for the bush.
We were coming down here. I just saw that the car is no more going like this. It's going back like this. Yes. Immediately, I just feel that this baby at 4. When I discovered that the baby at 4, I just picked by the baby.
Most passengers were returning from a funeral ceremony. 10 of them sustained serious injuries and were rushed to the Banso Baptist Hospital, 16 kilometers from the incident. Passengers revealed the driver was not in a good mood.
No, the driver is very rude. We started since from Kambe. Very rude.
And spent his time quarreling with them.
Quite an unfortunate situation there in the Northwest region of Cameroon. Now the deadline for the acquisition of computerized driver's license is in less than 2 days, and car owners are still scrambling to obtain them. Drivers have up to the 1st of March 2014 to get a computerized license or have their vehicles simply confiscated. Jacques Kokinge visited the delegation of transport here in the Littoral region, and this is what he compiled for the Primetime Newscast.
In the corridors and offices of the Littoral Regional Delegation for Transport, the affluence is becoming unbearable as drivers pop in to meet up with a delay for the acquisition of their computerized driver's licenses. The procedures for the obtention of the computerized driver's license is somehow not mastered by some drivers.
For the requirements, you need to bring the old license, the carton license. You bring a copy of your IT card. You bring a signed, because the signature has to appear on the license. You bring a birth certificate, and then 2 colored pictures on white background, and 6,000 francs.
The official price seems not to be what is applicable on the field.
Les frais, on m'a demandé 10 000 francs pour les frais.
All the same, the drivers whom we met at the Regional Delegation of Transport seem to appreciate the rapidity of the exercise.
Je suis servi en 3 minutes.
Oui, ça c'est vraiment rapide, c'était vraiment très rapide.
It should be noted that the Minister of Transport had requested since September 2013 for all driver's licenses to be computerized to avoid the level of fraud that had plagued the sector. So as from the 1st of March 2014, drivers who fail to produce their computerized driver's licenses will have to face administrative sanctions.
Normally, if you've not come to change your license, we assume that you don't have a license. And if you don't have a license, the sanction is for your vehicle to be compounded. If you are found driving with a carton license after the 1st of March, it means that you are not sure about that license, and so we'll withdraw it and your vehicle will be impounded.
The government says the putting in place of computerized driver's licenses is to reduce the production of fake licenses. But will this also help to reduce the new line?
Now, 3 persons have been arrested in Bepanda, that's a neighborhood here in the economic capital Douala, after a protest demonstration that was staged today in that part of the city. The protesters are those whose houses were demolished for the extension works of the Boulevard de la République. The locals are denouncing the non-payment of their indemnities. Let's have the details of that report with Pamela Ndukong.
The unprecedented riot by the angry population of Bepanda called the attention of elements of the anti-riot police who used tear gas to disperse the population. The inhabitants were protesting against the non-payment of the indemnities by authorities of the Douala City Council. Efforts by the divisional officer for Douala 5 to calm the situation ended up in a fiasco. The president of the Association of Displaced Victims at Bipanda told us that some 3 of their mates have been arrested by police and taken to an unknown destination. The victims say they are desperately in need of their indemnities to relocate elsewhere after their houses were demolished months ago for the extension work on the Boulevard de la République.
Pamela Ndukong there, ending the report now. Some 400 women drawn from the west and also the northwest regions of the country have been trained on profitable pigs and sheep rearing to boost the sector. The women were urged to implement the methods that they learned during a workshop that took place in that part of the country recently. Let's have more with Hansen Chanji.
The management, profitability, and long-term sustainability of pastoral farming has always been a major problem to farmers in rural areas. An expert believes that training rural women will improve on the quality and quantity of animals grazed.
Shumas has 8 programs that helps her in her mission of integrated sustainable rural development. And one of the pillars of these 8 programs is the empowerment of women. You know already the role that women play that cannot be minimized. In most villages, if you are doing anything without the women, it will not work.
It is against this backdrop that some 400 rural women, drawn from 60 women groups of west and northwest regions, recently received training on basic principles of pig and sheep farming, waste management, record keeping, marketing techniques, among others. After the 3 days training program, the women were offered piglets, lambs, bags of pig feed, reference manual to guide them. It is expected that their farms will witness a tremendous increase by over 50% in the next 3 years. Also, the women have been charged with implementing lessons from the workshop and bring back at least 1 breed next year.
By this time next year, we expect these women to bring back the little ones of what they have got. They all together, they have 400 animals, 200 piglets and 200 sheep. So we expect them to bring back the 400 that we are going to give back to other women. And what we expect of them is to go back and make sure that they respect the terms of the training.
The over 400 women who both received the animals expressed their satisfaction to donors and promised to use them as mustard seeds.
Now, women in the Bakassi Peninsula can now go about their activities, bearing in mind that all is ready for the Women's Day celebrations. The First Lady Chantal Biya recently donated Women's Day fabric as well as financial assistance to women of the oil-rich peninsula. Derek Dato, Iboya-based correspondent, reports that the First Lady was appreciating their active participation during the 50th anniversary celebrations.
The active participation of these Bakassi women during the 50th anniversary of Cameroon reunification celebration in Boya got the attention of the First Lady, Madame Chantal Biya. And to show appreciation, Madame Biya sent fabrics for the Women's Day celebration and financial assistance to these Bakassi women. The care shown to these Bakassi women by Madame Nicole Okalia, wife of the Southwest Governor, during their 1-week stay in Boya, also moved the First Lady. Reason why Madame Chantal Biya asked Madame Nicole Okalia to move down to Bakassi for her for the distribution. The Senior Divisional Officer, Fondian Division, Mr. Babila Akao, called on the Bakassi women to use the money judiciously, thanking Madame Chantal Biya.
On vous dit merci à Maman Chantal Biya. I'm very happy, I'm excited. Mama, we say thank you.
The Bakassi women also used the opportunity to table some of their worries.
Scarcity of water, we still need more things in Bakassi. There are areas that we don't have network. We don't have a microfinance that we can transfer money to our children who are schooling out of Bakassi.
Receiving the First Lady 10 million words gesture, the Bakassi women are now aware that they occupy a special place, even in the heart of the Cameroon First Lady.
The women of the Bakassi Peninsula, they're receiving the Women's Day fabric even after access to potable water in the oil-rich peninsula is still a problem. Now, news out of Cameroon, a British Muslim convert who hacked a soldier to death has been sentenced to life imprisonment. This is after a court ruled that the UK laws on whole life sentences are compatible with European human rights laws, and it should be noted that his alleged accomplice was given 45 euros in prison. Let's have the details of that report with Franz Venkat.
It was a brutal killing which shocked the United Kingdom. Murder suspects Michael Adebolajo and Michael Adebowale arrived in court on Friday to begin their trial. Both converts to Islam, the two British men of Nigerian descent deny murdering Lee Rigby. The 25-year-old off-duty soldier was hacked to death in front of horrified bystanders in the town of Woolwich. At the time, Adebolajo claimed the attack was revenge for Britain's wars against Muslims. Rigby's family was present in court as the prosecution began their case. The jury was shown CCTV footage of Rigby being knocked down by a car before he was butchered. The murder caused an anti-Muslim backlash. Mosques were attacked and far-right groups staged demonstrations which returned this month outside the court during pre-trial hearings. The trial should last for 3 weeks, under tight security.
Now, a brief note in sports football before we take you to the second part of this newscast. Head coach of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, Foke Finko, has made public the list of 23 selected players to take part in the friendly encounter between Cameroon and Portugal. That's going to be next week. A majority of those called for the match were those to take part in the matches that qualified the country for the 2014 World Cup built for Brazil. And absent on the list are Stefan Biya and also Ashie Webo, who have simply sustained injuries. The friendly match will take place, as Ayla indicated, next week, precisely on Wednesday, March 5th in Portugal. And that does it for this segment of the news. Up next is Talking Point. Thank you so much, viewers, for joining us tonight on Talking Point. As from March 1st, drivers without computerized license would have to be sanctioned. The government has warned that those who defy the order will simply see their vehicles confiscated. Our guest tonight is the president, or the national president of the Bus Drivers Union, here, who is resident precisely here in the economic capital, Douala. Good evening to you, Mr. Tabinjang Thomas. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Mimi, and it's a pleasure for me talking in your precious television station.
We should be thanking you for coming. Actually, we invited you within the context of the computerized license that would go into effect as from the 1st of March 2014. We watched a report there by Jacques Ekekinge. We saw how drivers are very, very busy. They are actually scrambling to get their license. Does it mean that they were taken by surprise?
I don't think they were taken by surprise, because this computerized driving license has been announced about some 6 years ago. I happen to be among some of the first persons who went in to change their driving license, because mine will be expiring on the 15th of July this year. You know, Cameroonians like the last minute rush, but I can say it has been, many of them has been aware that the license is being changed.
Why should they wait for the deadline before they start rushing, according to you?
According to me, you know, I can say it's a habit, because we have seen it during even the registration of voters' card. Many people were rushing out during the late minute.
So you probably don't blame this on maybe the level of follow-up, sensitization, and awareness.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's also a problem? at
yes.
the level of campaign,
yes.
sensitization campaign, awareness on the part of the government? And
well, I have never witnessed a lot of campaign over the media or the newspapers, but what I can say is that when it was introduced, it was announced, but maybe many people are not informed, and the fact is that we have a lot of drivers in our country. There are millions, so it has to take time for them to succeed in changing it. But I feel that from this date that the government has given, many people will seize this opportunity to go and change their driving license.
You earlier talked of the country having millions of drivers. Do you think that this initiative is going to yield any fruit? Are you seeing so many drivers being or seeing their vehicles confiscated because they don't have the computerized license? Do you think that it's going to be effective enough, looking at the number of drivers that we have in the country?
That's one major problem, because if this control will be intensified all over, there will be many vehicles that will be impounded, because the majority of the drivers have not yet changed their license to the computerized driving license, according to my knowledge. I have my members who have this problem. But there's another problem which I would like to state here, is that the fares are exorbitant. Because I have my own driving license here with me. It is really marked there at 5,000 francs. But when you get to the transport office where you want to change your license, you can spend up to 17,000. Well, they say 3,000 may go for the medical certificate, which is a good thing, because they have to see whether the driver has a good visibility. But the rest of the money, from 5,000, let me say, to 14,000, we don't know where it goes.
To you, the issue of computerized license is a good thing, but the idea of receiving more than 5,000 francs seems to be a problem.
That's the problem.
Is that possibly why drivers are discouraged, maybe to obtain their personal computerized license?
Most of them, I cannot say they are discouraged, but most of them don't have the means. Because in our country, drivers can be classified as household servants, because I don't know why drivers who are supposed to be the partners for development, but their remuneration is so low that most of them live from hand to mouth, and to raise this sum of about 17,000 is a problem.
It's too much.
It's too much. Yes.
Just
that is why
raising
most
that amount
of
at
them
a time.
are not.
You, as the national president of the Bus Drivers Union, what is your union doing, or you as an individual, maybe to see into it? If this is the complaints that drivers are presenting to you, they have been tabling to you, that when they go to the delegation, these are the problems that they face. What's the association doing?
Our association has been doing a lot, but the system
on this particular issue.
On this particular issue, that's why I'm saying, in our country, when you go, they tell you either you accept or you leave it. If you interviewed, somebody was interviewed there who said he spent about 10,000 francs. For what? What? The stamp
you
duty.
leave it, then your car will be confiscated. What should you do when there's nobody to defend you, when there's nobody to sit up and say this is wrong, this is what is right? What should you do at this point in time when you don't have the money and you are expected, you are going to the delegation knowing that you are going to spend some 5,000 francs to obtain your computerized license? At the end of the day, you spend more than 10,000 francs. Then if you don't do that, your car will be confiscated. What should you do?
That's the main problem. So most of them have to do the efforts to get that money to have their computerized driving license, in order that their vehicle should not be impounded. But then, I would like to use your media to appeal to the authorities that they should try to tell the workers of the division, the transport services in the country, to limit it, because the official rate, which we know is the stamp duty, is 5,000. But then,
how much did you spend as an individual when you were obtaining your?
I spent 17,000.
17,000. What were the reasons that the delegation advanced as far as the money that he collected was concerned?
Well, since I went there, I have my attestation, the depot or receipt here. I was told that I have to produce 2 pictures with white background.
Was it justifiable, the amount that you spent? Did it justify what you obtained at the
end of the day? It was not justified. It was not justified, but since I was in dire need of my license, because I cannot live without my licenses, I had to produce the money.
And
but
fortunately enough, you had the money, and some drivers too
many
might not
of them
be able to afford.
Many of them
see their vehicles simply confiscated because they don't have the money.
If you go
That's
around,
actually a big problem that the association needs to handle.
Well, we'll try to see what we can do. But in fact, Mimi, I will tell you that whenever we go towards them to put our problems, they give us.
And the importance now of this computerized license, how important is it? What are the advantages to drivers?
The new computerized driving license is important because, well, I can say it is computerized because the intention was to reduce fraudulent obtention of driving licenses. So I accept it because, first of all, it is portable, and if you drop in water, it cannot get bad. So that one important. But then it is a driving license. Even the fraud, I think it cannot be avoided.
Fraud. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Tabi, for joining us tonight on Talking Point.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me speaking.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for being part of us tonight in this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. Wish you a blessed stay in the company of our programs.